I have a Twitter account. I've never tweeted.
Whoa!
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do all like full force, but I used it though for like up and coming news, staying updated with everything there. Follow a lot of like Instagram and social media coaches and educators. Like initial reaction though was I was extremely excited because I know that anytime that Instagram takes something from another platform, it's always better. So.
They borrow.
They're inspired by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're inspired. It's only been 120 hours since it's been released, and they are at over 100 million users. Today we're talking about Instagram's sister app, Threads. It's the latest brand new platform. It's been taken over, as we've been talking about. It's presented some interesting ideas and experiences that I feel like all of us would like to kind of talk more about. We are going to give you guys a good idea of our experience thus far from pretty much the beginning to where it stands today. I don't know about you guys. Were you guys surprised that they released it even just a few hours early?
I was.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with the feature too, with everybody getting that like serialized number of when you signed up, right? That was,
yeah.
I'm surprised no app stores crashed. Everybody trying to rush on there and sign up right away.
From like an app thought, because I used to have an app background, I think it was really strategic by them because they launched it and then they knew already that they had all the press buy-in for the next morning. So by the time you're waking up, getting this news, opening Threads app, there's already stuff happening in it. And so it like gives that much more FOMO and excitement about the product. So I think it was brilliant, coordinated, and like definitely strategic.
I want to know what your initial reaction was when you even heard or the rumor of this Barcelona, I think it was called.
Yeah.
It was this secret project that they were doing. What was your initial reaction when you heard that Meta might be doing a Twitter-like app?
Honestly, I was never a Twitter person. Like, yeah, we all had Twitter, but like, I just could never, it was never my place. I never grew on there, full disclosure. So when I heard about it, I was actually really excited, especially because, as you know, like social media managers, content creators, like constantly repurposing tweets onto reels or into carousels, or, you know, I felt like the Instagram home feed was starting to become like a Twitter repost, like central. So I was like totally over that. So yeah, initial reactions, excited.
I'm wondering, Lucas, do you share the same sentiment as well, or were you kind of hesitant?
No, absolutely. I never was on Twitter in a significant way. I liked the platform. I was more of a lurker on Twitter because I like getting just trending news updates and things like that. But trying to share content on Twitter never really took off for me. I don't think I was ever really sharing the right stuff, or it just felt like anything I was putting out there wasn't being seen because I hadn't really built any foundation beforehand.
I have a Twitter account. I've never tweeted.
Whoa!
It's great. And I was like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do all like full force, but I used it though for like up and coming news, staying updated with everything there. Not only just like world news, but also just Instagram news. I follow a lot of like Instagram and social media coaches and educators there, and it was a great place for me to really get updated fast. So I used it for that, but never actually used Twitter myself. So my first initial reaction though was I was extremely excited because I know that anytime that Instagram takes something from another platform, it's always better. So.
They borrow.
They're inspired by it.
Yeah, and they're inspired. For myself, I did have a Twitter account, and I have to agree with Carl. As active as I was not able to grow. I thought I was slick, try to schedule like 3 a day, and I did it for a year. And I amassed the almighty number of 55 followers. It was, and I would say that I had 55 followers maybe the first 5 minutes of joining Threads. So I felt like a celebrity. And I think a lot of people felt like celebrities when it was released. We kind of already spoke a little bit about them being smart and being wise about it. But if we were to scale the entire release process from it being teased in the IG search bar, you typed in the word thread, their setup process, how would you rate it 1 to 10 compared to other platform releases?
I would give it a 10 out of 10. And I think the very important thing was how it automatically synced to your Instagram audience, your Instagram community. So all of us on here, speaking about how, you know, Twitter never took off for us, we already were able to leverage this Instagram community that we've spent years building up and now have it on this new platform. So I think that was the most seamless and important part of it. I love, in terms of setting it up, my favorite part was the option to immediately follow all of your Instagram followers, right?
can also, if you chose to follow up everyone, you can go in and retract all those requests for when they do join. Like if you were like, all of a sudden I don't follow those people once they come to Threads, you can retract it same way in the same location.
Oh, nice.
That is awesome. They have really outdone themselves in regards to the whole simple setup, if you ask me. Carl, was your experience as smooth as well?
Yeah, it was totally smooth. I almost feel like I would have liked, maybe not me, but for other people, a lot of the questions I'm getting seem quite basic. And so I think from an app UX or UI perspective, would have been really interesting to see like maybe 3 screens onboarding me. Like, this is where you'll find this. This is where you'll do
That's
this.
a great idea.
And only 3, because like anything more than that, like stop.
I hope they're listening. I mean, they did say that there's lots of updates coming along in the next few weeks. So hopefully that's one of them.
The whole onboarding process extremely easy. I loved how smooth everything went. My personal thing that I love the most was you could just copy your Instagram bio over. Like, we don't have to worry about what I want. Easiest thing. So that was great. And I think the initial like hype once you finally got onto Threads, how everybody was excited. Like, it was just genius because everyone had that good experience onboarding, instantly connected, the dopamine hits we all got from, you know, notifications up the yin yang. It was just A1. Like, they did so good.
I haven't seen a better release in this in regards to social media platforms. Usually there's some form of glitch or some type of hiccup during the registration process. I haven't heard anybody complain about that, and it's been very smooth. We kind of said a few, but if you have any other answers, what were your favorite things about the entire platform that you've been experiencing so far, and maybe a few things that you disliked?
Something that was kind of confusing is how to rethread or like reshare somebody's thread, or how to add to your thread versus like commenting just like as a reply. There was a lot of little steps if you were actively using it that were confusing at the beginning. To be honest, still kind of confusing. Like, I press enter, I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to post it, meant to just line break and weird. So that was a little bit difficult, but the actual setup, like, I wouldn't have changed anything.
I was just thinking, and I didn't really think anything was that complicated or different. I think if you'd used Twitter, I found the interface was similar. I would say I was more like surprised that you could actually post to Twitter. I thought that was so tongue-in-cheek. Like, all the features that they chose to like prioritize, like they're like, no, we're not going to do a search bar or hashtags, but make sure that they can tweet it.
Yeah, that was a shot.
No, for me, it just feels very refreshing after coming out of a climate of Instagram where, like, you know, you care about your engagement rate. You don't want to post too often, right? Even though you have all these ideas, these topics you want to share, links to things, videos, photos, so many different formats I've wanted to share on Instagram. But I'm also very conscious of, you know, I want to protect my account. I want to keep it in good standing. I want to keep my audience on Instagram with the very busy algorithm it does have. I want my audience just seeing my best quality content. So not to say go spam every 15 minutes on Threads, but it does feel like you can post a lot more of everything. So I've shared memes that I've gotten back into doing. I've shared links to things. And I know on Twitter, and like things like Twitter and LinkedIn, whenever you would share a link, like your post tanks. It goes nowhere. So currently it looks like you can actually repost links to things. I wouldn't recommend doing it 24/7, but it's very freeing and refreshing to be able to see that we can just share the things that we want to share without having to worry a bit too much about the overall health of our account like I would on Instagram.
You don't have too many negative things, but however, when I was doing some research about it the other day, was yesterday, and I was just Googling some different articles on it, and there were a lot of top hits said reasons why it's going to fail, reasons why it's not going to last, reasons why it's going to tank in X amount of months. So it's interesting to see. There are some good, positives, some negatives out there.
A few people have said if you have multiple accounts or like client accounts, it can be very difficult. Setup was difficult, but also managing going back and forth. Instagram, I can hop between my personal and my professional by just tapping my face in the bottom right corner, and it flips interchangeably. I think it's not as smooth with Threads right now.
Yeah, you have to sign out.
So you have to completely sign out of one account and then sign back into another. Okay. I wonder if they actually considered that. I would assume they have to consider that people are using multiple accounts. Do you think that they did that purposely?
Sounds like something that probably would have I think it's going to be in the works where we can like seamlessly change. I remember when Instagram came out, or just recently, you couldn't switch between Instagram accounts so quickly. That's probably been a feature added in the last few years. So maybe on the back end of like how seamless, like we said, the launch was, getting people signed up, this is probably just one kind of downside to it in order to make it as smooth as it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
They definitely have like a dev math up, and that's like priority 25 or something.
I just hope they don't forget about Instagram in the meantime as well.
Yeah.
I would like to see new features on Threads and glitch fixes on Instagram. On a scale of 1 to 10, how easy or difficult was your process and the whole entire setup of Threads? Did you have any issues? I want to see if you have any issues. That'd be really important because I didn't see anybody comment that. But if you liked it and it was smooth, go ahead and put a 10.